The following is a Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show YouTube exclusive.
Hey everyone, welcome to this special YouTube exclusive episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Happy to be here with us. Thank you for joining us. As always, I'm your host, Jake Duffenbaum. Today, as always, our co-host, Chris Bixby, and Matt Bingo. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Just as you can't get over us. How you doing, folks?
Yes, we're doing good. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Chris. Chris, what do we have for today?
So, if you remember our big 100th episode, we had Christopher Surf and Norman Stiles on, and we have them on again to talk about the We Are Family project, because last time we talked about Sesame, Between the Lions, what it was like working on those shows. And again, we're here to talk about We Are Family and what went into that, what went into writing it and organizing it. And so please welcome back to the show, Christopher Surf and Norman Stiles. Happy to have you here.
Hello. Well, we're very happy to be here. I'm thrilled to see that you have some Lions puppets there behind you as well.
Yes.
Lions stuffed animals. Very exciting.
Absolutely. So for those who haven't seen our first interview with you both, could you introduce yourselves a little bit and what you do?
Sure. You want to go first, Norm?
No.
Okay. That sums up our relationship.
Why? Why you don't want to?
One sentence. Right? Well, I don't want to go first either. So now what are we going to do?
I don't know. Chris, you go first.
Well, I guess I'll do it.
Let's go at the same time.
Actually, Bob and Ray had a routine called the McBeebe twins. They were non-identical twins who said almost
the same time.
Almost, they spoke at the same time. They said almost the same thing.
Almost the same time.
How they ever did it. It was like
I don't know how they did it.
Very much what they did.
Very much what they did.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
So I'm Chris Serb, and as you guys already mentioned, I had a big involvement with Sesame Street. I helped start the products group back in 1970, but quickly migrated over to writing songs as well, which became my main task there through all those years. And Norm was head writer, as he'll tell you in a minute, and we wrote a lot of songs together, had a great time doing it. And I did a lot of other things there too, but those are the main things. And then at the end of the 90s, Norm and I continued doing that for a while, but we also started Serious Thinking, a company that we still have that produced a show called Between the Lions, which you guys obviously know, and I'm assuming many of your listeners would know too, that taught reading to kids on PBS, had a lot of the same educators and writers behind it and puppeteers that worked on Sesame. And in fact, the puppeteers who played the lions, as you guys know, are still doing Sesame to this day. So Norm, you want to fill in? I didn't mention Lomax. We could mention that too.
Yeah. Well, I started working at Sesame Street beginning of the second year. I was a writer, and then sort of towards the end of my third year, I became head writer. And then I left for a while, and I went to Los Angeles and worked on situation comedies. I worked with Mel Brooks on a comedy, and then really didn't like Los Angeles and begged to come back to Sesame Street, and they graciously accepted me. And then I was head writer for quite a while, and then Chris and I got together. Well, we were
together working on a lot of stuff. But
a lot of stuff. We would do music and songs and all sorts of things, and we used to get together regularly to do that and to have some fun. And we came up with the idea to do a reading show, and Chris Craig came up with that great title. We were both, sufficiently inebriated at the time.
That's true of many of our projects.
Meeting. And then we did Between the Lions, which was a wonderful experience because of the goals involved, and we used the same techniques that they used to create Sesame Street, as Chris said.
And the same educators, really. Jerry
Same
Lesser,
educators.
Jerry Lesser from Harvard was behind the curriculum of both shows, really.
Right. And he led all the meetings and was really quite a wonderful guy. And we did that for a while. Then we did Lomax, and now I'm doing sculpting. So there you are.
And Lions actually has a second life in the schools.
That's right.
So we've been getting, working with the Department of Ed and with Success for All schools in Baltimore out of Johns Hopkins. And that project is beginning to take off. I saw Jake, thank you for liking the video we just posted.
Yes,
So,
yes.
I saw it too.
Absolutely, yes. I love
that
seeing Cleo and Theo do new stuff too.
Yeah.
So we love it too. We love it too.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
And who knows, maybe Lionel and Leona will be thrown into the mix.
Well, they will. We just
I'm sure Leona will. I'm sure Leona will. We met Leona a couple months ago.
Yes.
So
you probably met Lionel too. Noel McNeil. Have you guys?
No, not yet.
he's
We hope to. We
Not
hope
yet,
to.
but I know Chris Bixby.
We hope to.
He chatted with Noah before.
Yeah.
You'll track him down. You'll
I
track
have as
him
well.
down.
Did you interview Leona?
We did, yes. We
With
talked to
Amos
Leona,
Sierra,
and
yes.
we did
We
interview
talked to Leona.
Pam, and that was wonderful.
Grangetta
Yes.
might have been on that show too.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah,
Grangetta
the
was.
voice,
Yes,
and
yes.
Absolutely love Pam. I mean, both
And
me
we talked
and
to
Pam
Jen
touch
too.
a lot.
Jen-
Jen Barnhart.
Oh,
too,
yes.
was great.
Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Great.
Wonderful people.
You
Like
bet.
like you both.
Very
Of course.
talented actress and singer and puppeteer.
Yes.
yes.
And one of my favorite people in the world. She's just
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
And they're all
Oh.
wonderful people.
So since you both come back for this show, and you both are actually still one of the fewest guests to be back in the show for the second time. How's it feel for you both to be back on and talk about what we're going to talk about today?
Oh, I just love talking about this stuff.
Me too.
Me too. And it's great to know that the people are interested in it still, and there are new people becoming interested in it, and I love reminiscing about it and talking about it. So I love being here.
Yeah,
Definitely.
same here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
We wholeheartedly agree. I'm gonna kick this off about We Are Family. I'm gonna start off with Chris here. The We Are Family project was co-created with you and Mitchell Kriegman. For those who don't know, he created Bear in the Big Blue House.
It was really Nile Rodgers' project.
Yes, it was also a Nile Rodgers project.
Was a major contributor, but it all started with Nile.
Absolutely.
Yes. Did you know Mitchell or Nile prior to this project at all?
Absolutely. I particularly knew Nile. I knew Nile for many years. He's an old friend. And I think that's why this happened. Honestly, I can tell you where it began because it started with a phone call that I got from Nile. Nile, I need to say a little bit about Nile. I think most people who know music at all will know who Nile Rodgers is, but his name isn't up front as much as some other things, but he had a group called Chic, which was a huge disco group. They had hits like Le Freak. He wrote the song We Are Family, and he's one of the top rhythm guitar players in history, still doing great. Chic is still touring. Nile writes music for all the top video games. He's an amazing guy. He had a huge hit that he co-wrote a few years ago, Get Lucky. So he's still at the top of his game. But I knew Nile for two reasons. I knew him slightly because he was in the original Sesame Street touring band back in the 1969, 1970 era, when Evelyn Davis, the really brilliant woman who built all the outreach for Sesame Street, had a touring show that she did where the characters would go around the country in season 1. And Nile was one of the musicians in that band. So I met him then, but only slightly. But he started dating a friend of mine soon after that, and we got to be good friends then. And he wasn't really famous yet. He was just on the verge of having Chic getting to do well. Of course, Chic's music led directly to a song called Rapper's Delight, the Sugar Hill Gang did, which was the first big crossover hip hop hit. So he's incredibly influential and an amazingly good guy. But in any case, going back to the chase here, right after 9/11, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after, Niall called me up and said, I just did a video with a lot of celebrities using our We Are Family song because a lot of us were talking about how much anti-Arab and other hate there was after 9/11, and we wanted to diffuse that, and we thought our song would be great for that. But he said, Chris, is there any way we could do something like that for kids? I thought you'd be the guy to call. And I said, no, you're not going to believe this, but I always have dreamed of doing We Are the World with all the puppet characters from different shows. But I never thought anybody would do it.
Gosh.
But maybe they would do it for this. And he said, let's find out. And he said, I've got the song. I've got the money to make the video. I've got a lot of celebrities who will help. If you could I said, well, Lions will do it. I can tell you that right now. But if I can get Sesame Street to do it, I have a hunch we can get everyone else. And I called up the great Chelsea Singer, and she was on board right away. So we did. So we ended up having incredible recording sessions and video sessions where Barney came on the set with Lions and Sesame Street. We got everybody together from the whole cast, and Zoom came to that session, I think.
Yes, that's
We
right.
had like by the end of it, we had Nickelodeon and Disney involved because Nancy Cantor, another great person who used to work at Sesame, was the head of the Disney Channel by then. So she got all her shows into it, and they all agreed to simulcast it at the time of the bombing, but 6 months later. So it was on PBS, Disney, and Nick at the same time. I don't think anything else has ever had that. So it was an amazing experience doing it, and for a really great cause. And the fun part, which I'm jumping ahead, but I can't resist, is it got quite a lot of attention, but then it kind of life went on. But the Alabama state legislature decided that interspecies videos were teaching a sneaky way of teaching tolerance of homosexuality, especially because Bob SquarePants, I suddenly can't get the name right, but
SpongeBob
SpongeBob was in it. And that was proof that it was to prove that gay things were okay. And so they voted that it couldn't be shown in Alabama. And that vote got us so much attention that Niall got on Larry King in every show talking about that. He started a foundation, which is still going strong.
Oh, yes.
Has raised millions of dollars for helping kids, entrepreneurs with socially relevant causes. And all of this came out of that phone call. So pretty exciting. Definitely. So sorry I talked so long, but.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Well,
it's good.
No worries at all. We can have long answers too. So
no worries.
No worries from there.
Also, just so you know, it's going to be LGBTQ SquarePants.
Right.
Everybody who wears, is a sponge and is square is going to be in that community.
Yeah. True transmedia. Right.
So for you, Norman, because you also got to co-write the project with Chris and several other writers. How did you become involved? How did you become involved with it, and what was your part?
I don't remember. Maybe Chris remembers. I don't remember.
I think we all talked about what Sesame would do. I wrote some new lines for the Count, but I don't think I had that idea. It could have been yours, but I don't remember. It's 22 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how, because basically, Chris, it really was about the song.
Yeah, it was more music.
Right.
It was
It was
more
more,
music.
you know,
about it.
there really wasn't much.
But I think you helped organize what we shot and getting Sesame to do it and all that.
Maybe so, but you know what? My memory is that since it was mostly about the song, it really was in your hands because it involved so many logistical pieces,
Oh yeah.
you know, and diplomacy, because Chris had to manage and deal with every show. If you're going to use their characters has issues,
You
and
bet they do.
and you have to bridge those issues. And Chris is so good at doing that and getting people to cooperate, you know, with other shows.
Well, that's what the video was about, isn't it?
I know, but ironically,
know.
the production was about that as well. And so, and it really was about. My memory is talking to Chris quite often about the what he was doing to try to corral all these egos and not the people who were going to perform. By the way, it was just the production.
They all had fun, but that's right. Some
Yeah.
people were amazingly helpful. You know,
Right.
like you mentioned Mitchell. He got on board right away. You know, and that meant we got there and everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
that was important. And the Muppets, getting the non-Sesame Muppets was really important. And WGBH, our partners in Between the Lions, got all their shows, you know, and Nancy Canner was really helpful rounding up all the Disney shows. So, you know, I don't remember how the Nick part worked out. Brown Johnson, I think, was the main person who ended up working at Sesame later.
Right.
But it all kind of, everybody wanted to do something after 9/11. So
Right.
it kind of came together. And it was really, it was a lot of work, but it was very exciting. We were all so upset by everything that was going on that it was a very good way to deal with our emotions.
Chris, I don't remember. Was it all done in one recording session?
No, gosh, no. No.
That'd be
Dozens.
insane if that.
Right.
Not a chance.
So
Well,
how
we
many?
did Sesame. We tried to invite, we used the Lions set and we used Sesame set, and we invited other shows to both.
Got it.
Whoever was willing to come. Not everybody was willing to be on stage with everybody else, but we were able to do it. And then we had some people just shot it on their own sets, like that's what Zoom did, and and then we also were able to. Niall had a great film editor working with him. I can't remember his name right now, but he was great, and we were able to get little snatches of animation from animated shows, and
That's right, yeah.
and then lip sync stuff they had to the music, which
Like
took
like
quite a lot of
SpongeBob,
doing.
I think Higglytown Heroes was on the DVD version.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of animated shows.
Oh
and
yeah.
and if
use
you
it.
look really closely, the lip
Yeah.
sync isn't perfect, but it's pretty darn good.
You know, Chris, you
Right.
talk about that. You know that they now have an AI
Yeah,
editing thing that can do
Yeah.
lip sync
it's
perfectly.
dangerous. I know that's a dangerous thing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So
It's
like for
crazy.
example, when we worked on the Canadian show Whimsy,
Whimsy's house. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Whimsy's
Oh, that's a good
House.
show, yeah.
Love that
Whimsy's
show.
Great
they
show.
they would
Yeah.
do shoot it in English, and then have to dub it into French, and it would take them. It was very difficult because French doesn't
It
exactly
had more
match.
words.
Yeah, more words. And they would spend hours and hours and hours trying to get that done. But now they would just feed it into this AI, whatever it is, and it would be a cinch. So
Interesting.
Because they have to,
Wow.
instead of saying, what is it? They have to say, what is it that it is? Thanks to the French language has a lot of stuff like
yeah.
that.
So it's able to manipulate the video as well as the audio. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And going back to the celebrities that appeared in the video, because I saw like one of the bonus features where you, Chris, and Niall were interviewed, and you mentioned the part where Miss Piggy sings with Diana Ross. I love
That's
Right.
that.
right.
I love those parts.
Yes.
We shot that at the Muppet Mansion. Frank came in, and Diana Ross, who worked with Niall a lot. Niall wrote some of her hit records. So Niall got her to be part of it. And she came into the Muppet building, and she and Frank did it. It was cool.
Oh, that's wonderful.
An
That's
amazing
awesome.
day. That's what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah.
Everything that ever since I got the job at Sesame, these magical things keep happening.
Right, yeah.
That's
Right?
for my
Yeah,
whole life.
right.
That was
Crazy.
one of them.
Crazy,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So you mentioned how the music video aired on Disney, Nickelodeon, and PBS. Which, so obviously the music video was exposed to like generations of kids. What are your thoughts on the kind of impact that the music video had on like generations of kids?
Well, unless you were watching for those few minutes, you might not have seen it when it was broadcast. But I think the DVD and the YouTube thing, and as I mentioned, the fact that it was banned in some schools made it very easy to publicize. And Niall and his wife Nancy Hunt, who was an absolute genius at organizing things, also set up that whole foundation. But she promoted the heck out of this video. So millions of school kids watched it in school because Alabama wouldn't let it be shown in schools. There's a real lesson in banning things. Sometimes you actually get the opposite of what you want when you ban it. I remember, just to digress for a sec, my dad was started Random House, as some of you may know.
That's right, yeah.
And he published a book back in the 60s called The Invisible Government, about the CIA's role in the Vietnam War. And it sold nothing. I mean, it was a failure, but the CIA suddenly made a huge fuss about how inaccurate it was. And all out of nowhere, it became a #1 bestseller. And that's the same lesson as Alabama banning We Are Family. It suddenly became a big hit video because people were trying to keep others from watching it who wouldn't have watched it anyway, most likely.
Yeah, a lot of people probably watched it just to see why it was banned.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
sounds about right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Larry King had Niall on, and his show was very popular then. And that gave it a huge boost. And people started sending money to Niall's foundation. Up till then, I was on his board at the beginning. We were raising thousands of dollars. We suddenly were raising tens of thousands from people we didn't know. And he does
That's
amazing.
crazy.
He and Nancy are still doing great work. So
It's
anyone listening, check out We Are Family Foundation on the web, because they find kids all over the world who've started little companies to help people eat in Africa or to fight climate change. Incredible. And they're all very successful kids. They're all teenagers, and they give them support and publicity. And it all came out of this video. So,
that's great.
it's very exciting.
Absolutely.
It strikes me that a song title, "Please Ban This Song," would be a great.
That's a great idea. Of course, a lot of it came out. A lot of this I keep spreading the video. Niall's original song had a little bit to do with it too.
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest hits of all time. So
yes,
it
right.
didn't hurt. And
Yes.
and Sister Sledge was part of this whole project as well. She wasn't on the video, but she helped do a lot of things later and did remixes of it and all those things.
Well, it's probably really one of the early examples of woke.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We called it an interspecies video.
Yes. Well, we were woke a long time before everybody else was woke.
Yeah, we're back. We went back to sleep before everybody.
So you had mentioned the schools and whatnot. What was it like going around to different schools and teaching kids about We Are Family and what's it all about?
Well, I didn't do that personally, so you'd have to ask Nancy Hunt that. But we had similar experiences taking Lions around, which was just so heartening. I can't even begin to tell you.
Mhm.
We traveled around the country with Theo, Cleo, Lionel, and Leona, and the puppeteers behind them, and we had like a simple screen that they would perform behind that we would set up in the schools, and I would sit back there and play songs on cue and often screw it up, which the
Huh.
Lions would give me hell for, which was also very funny.
Oh, I can't
we went-
imagine.
Well, Peter and Jen were merciless when I made a mistake, and they would mention it. They would mention it in the next 10 shows. Don't screw it up again, Chris. You know? But I still looking back very fondly on all that.
You know, we got some pushback. You know, they came up with this idea of doing this thing with each other that showed that they really liked each other. They would do that nosy, nosy, nosy.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
of course.
which
Yeah.
I particularly loved because it's
Oh, I did too.
Yes.
it's rare that you see, you know, with puppets that kind of emotion. You know, I mean,
Yes,
really,
exactly.
You know,
but
Exactly. And
we got some pushback because people.
Oh
thought
yeah, they made us stop,
they made us stop it.
tone it down. Lions
it down.
stop.
see?
You
The
know,
other
you know, it's really, you know, first, you know, you start with noses, and who knows where it goes.
God,
That's true.
knows?
That's true.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
true.
Right?
Maybe
Funny
that's
enough.
why. Maybe that's why.
yeah, and funny enough, we mentioned Jen earlier when we previously chatted with her. I remember one of the stories where, one time where Cleo and Theo would do like a little video and then for something and then where they did the nosy, and then the director says cut, and then Marty P. Robinson
Marty Robinson,
after
yes.
where they done like shooting for like Sesame and having like a little break, Marty just come up to see what they're doing, and after they said kind of seeing him doing nosy, he was like, "Are you guys always that affection at the end of the scene?" And then they're like, yes." And
yeah.
then Marty said to
Good.
them, and then they said like, "It's so rare to see parents in love on television."
Yes.
And that is
Yeah.
just so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the point.
We need more of those.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
was that there. It's so clear, and it lifts everything. It makes it real. You know, the real emotion. I think one of the things that we did on Sesame Street when I was there, and we did on Lions, is we really tried to show real emotion. It wasn't just about the silliness and the teaching. We wanted it to feel like they were really were real. You know, that these are real. They may not be alive, but they're alive, and they have emotions, and they care about things. And it wasn't just silliness and playing around.
Well, you wrote, Norm, I have to mention it, wrote probably the greatest example of that in the history of either show, which was the Mr. Hooper's death show.
Right.
where
Yes.
Yeah.
That show
Yes.
makes me cry today.
Yep.
I can't watch 5 minutes of it without bursting into tears.
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
Talk about puppets with emotion, and grown-ups too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing, you know, that we tried to do. We didn't have a chance to do it that much on Lions, but on Sesame Street, you know, the real people were real. They weren't just, you know, standing in and teaching. They had emotions, and they related to the puppets in the same way. That's what made the actors so great. They really did.
Well, they also loved,
They were in this place.
they loved Will Lee, so on that show, their
Yeah,
tears were real.
yeah.
They were mourning their friend in real life as well as on the show. But I have to mention while we're talking about banning things, because it's to me the really funny side of it. There was a segment, one of my favorites, and I'm sure Norm would agree. It was one of his too, called Chicken Jane.
Yes, I
uh-huh.
remember that.
Mhm.
And
Here comes Chicken Chain. Yeah.
WGBH was really worried that we were injuring the chicken. So, so they wanted to
What?
take it off at one point.
What?
And
Ah,
our solution was to put a thing at the end of the show saying no animated chickens were injured
We're
during the
injured
production.
in the production of this.
That
Yes.
worked. That worked
Yes.
for about a year or two, but then the Mississippi Board of Education complained about injuring the chicken, and then they took the whole thing off the show.
Oh,
So
I
for
didn't
the
know
final
that.
2 years they didn't show it. But I'm showing it again in the schools. I'm getting my revenge.
Yeah.
And people are complaining
Yeah.
again. People are complaining again. So it
Are
may
they
not
really?
Are
last.
they really?
what?
What?
Well, one of the problems, it's not just, there may be chickens watching,
There might be.
and they might be triggered by this.
I couldn't agree more.
You have chickens.
The real
with
problem,
very sense.
I apologize for anything we might have done to
Yeah.
help
Well, we
cause that.
should have on all poultry farms, we should issue trigger warnings that they watch Chicken Jane. Really.
Speaking of which, that reminds me of another thing that happened in this
Oh
vein,
no.
which is, yes, there was a whole movement back about early 2000s about British actors playing the parts of Americans. That's all over now. They do it all the time. But
Oh yeah.
there were,
Oh yeah.
but somebody, it might have been Norm, it might have been one of the other writers, wrote a show for Sesame Street in which Elmo is auditioning to play the part of a chicken. Do you remember this, Norm?
No, it wasn't Elmo. It was Elmo. But
It was Elmo, I'm pretty sure.
Walt Disney comes to Sesame Street, and he's auditioning. He wants to find somebody to play a chicken in his next movie, and Elmo thinks that Telly is the perfect.
Oh, okay.
And Telly doesn't know anything about being a chicken, so Elmo helps him learn about being a chicken, and in the end, Elmo gets the part.
That's right.
Right, and Telly gets the part of a farmer. But what happened was that I think I might have mentioned it in my earlier interview. The research department came in and wanted to know why a chicken didn't get the part.
That's correct.
Because I couldn't believe that they would say this to me, and
Chicken Jane could have gotten the part after they threw her off.
For all we
You needed
know,
work.
yes.
And the reason that they said that was that in the same thing where English people play Americans, or in the old days, an Italian might play an American Indian. They said it really isn't. It's not a good thing. So I said, well, no chickens applied for the came into audition. Right. So we're going to go with Telly.
That reminds me of the Monty Python bit. Or there wasn't Monty Python. It was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, where he's a one-legged guy trying out to be Tarzan. Remember?
Yeah.
And Peter Cook says, well, if no two-legged people apply for the part, you have a very good chance. It was a unidexter. That's what they called it.
Unidexter.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
There's speaking of Jen Barnhart and Nosy. If you folks remember her episode, she showed a photo. I'll show it up on my phone here. Can we put that up on screen post-production? Get that there. She showed us this photo. I think it was in Manhattan. I remember correctly.
I don't.
I can't see it. I'm not seeing your screen.
Showing up on your phone. You have to.
There it is. There it is.
I think I don't know where that is.
I think that might
probably
be
in Manhattan.
Probably,
yeah. It must have been. Yeah.
Great photo.
Yeah. Thank you to Jennifer Barnhart for the wonderful photo, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
Hello, if
Could
you're
you
watching
guys
this.
could you guys send me that picture?
Yeah, we'll send
Yeah,
it to
Because
you.
I'd love to
Absolutely.
post that somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. We'll be more than happy to send it to you.
that'd be great.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Speaking
Yes.
of nosy,
Aw.
Oh,
Oh.
Aww.
Oh, what's your cat's name?
uh, Gracie, Gracie.
Oh, Gracie,
Hi,
that's
hi,
nice.
She's
Gracie.
That's a
she's
wonderful
15.
name.
She's 15 and she's deaf.
Oh.
George,
Wow.
So Norman and Gracie,
Anyway.
little nosy. How
Mhm.
wonderful is that? And instead of going back to like, with family and being on different schools and everything, it's really cool that both Bear and Barney did like a commercial about trying to go to have the video to the like trying to every single like school in the area, which is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the bonus features were kind of cool because we mentioned Cleo and Theo. There was the bit with them, and then the one with Bear and Barney, like Jake mentioned.
Uh-huh. Yeah, where they're talking about what the Rio family doing going at, and then every single school, and it's just
Yeah,
so wonderful.
definitely.
So now, I'm kind of curious. So overall, can you like kind of like describe the kind of message that this kind of a project teaches?
the We Are Family one, you mean?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I think it's pretty simple that, people should get along even if they're different. And we can celebrate their differences, but that they all can work together. And Niall was particularly worried about all the hate messages that were going on around 9/11, about terrorists and about who was really responsible for it and all the conspiracy theories. This just seemed a good time to do a message about tolerance.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
Definitely.
that's what it was about. Pure and
on
simple.
another way of looking at it, so we have all these different tribes, and they're all over the place, and they all have different ways of worshiping, and they have different cultural things and all of that. But we're all human beings. There's a common. We have something in common underneath it all, and I think that's also a part of the message that was being delivered. That we're living here together, and we're alive together, and we're human beings, and the tribal differences should not diminish this common thread.
Right. And the video actually started with Makiba, who was a rapper on our show, talking about lions, penguins. Everybody is all together. Let's all get together. And it was kind of a call to action. Yeah. And I love that she was a wonderful part of our show that I hope everyone remembers. I'm still in touch with her, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
She's out in LA, awesome. still doing some hip hop. No, she doesn't make a living at it, I guess, but she's still at it. So hi, Pam Wilder, her real name, if you're listening.
It's really a message that Sesame Street, really was trying to promote. And at the time of 9/11, it was really important to reinforce it and everything. And it's such a shame to see what's going on today with so many people really not wanting to come together and viewing coming together as something that's not good. There's so many people out there that really want to separate, and it's not just, I suppose it's more on the right, but it's also on the left. Identity and racial identity, and all of this. There's an idea that we're all separate rather than all one. And to me, it's a shame.
Oh, it's horrible. There are a lot of people are working on the idea, which I really like, is that we're different, but we're stronger together. That we can celebrate each other's differences and the way that we're alike, but basically that we are all part of something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's going to be difficult because it all, racial politics and religious politics and everything. People are retreating into their own, racial identity and gender identity and all of this, and it's just dividing rather than.
Well, what's new though to me is that there's a certain group of people who actually think, who actually think that trying to bring people together is wrong in itself.
Yeah, so absolutely.
That the very idea that if you're trying to bring people together, you're an evil person and must be stopped.
Right.
Before it was just that you didn't agree. Now we have to stop it, and that you're an elitist that needs to not have any influence, and only college graduates want people to come together. I mean, it's just craziness what's going on.
Yeah,
and it would be great to make fun of it, except it doesn't work anymore to make fun of it, because only the people who agree with you will watch it, what you make.
Definitely.
Anyway, we're on our soapboxes.
Yes. I actually am sitting on a soapbox.
Well, yeah, makes you look taller.
Well, that's that.
Looks good. Looks good.
It's a revolving soapbox.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to buy some soap.
Well, you see, everything has a purpose.
Yes, it does.
Definitely.
Yep. Absolutely. So now I'm kind of curious for you about, what was it like, your thoughts about, Bear, Barney, and Big Bird, kind of like being together for the very first time after, what they've done for their shows, over the years, and then finally, collaborate doing something together. Like, what was that, like for that even to happen?
Well, I'll answer some of that. Basically, what Norman I've been talking about was part of it. It was basically fantastic to see people, the same thing that we were talking about in the video, having people come together that didn't belong together was great. Of course, a lot of the people were the same people. I mean, Bear is Noel McNeil, and he's Lionel now, became Lionel as well. So, I mean, everybody knew each other. A lot of the people knew each other to begin with, and just had different costumes or voices. But Barney was different. I mean, we all kind of maybe looked down at Barney as being not as smart a show as maybe some of the other shows we worked on, but but actually working with him was cool. And the guy who was inside was great.
Oh yes.
So, I've forgotten his name now, but
did Carrie Stinson?
I think it was Carrie Stinson who was inside.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Huh. For no reason, I thought like he only did the costume only for the commercial. But
no, they brought the costume to the Between the Lions set, and he
That's
sang the
great.
song that day.
Wow.
That was I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing.
I know.
Right?
I know.
It was an amazing experience, the whole thing.
We're also big, Barney fans as well. So for
Yeah.
for that, it's like,
Well,
how
I
in the
wasn't
world?
totally a Barney fan, except maybe to make fun of it, but I guess you
Makes sense,
appreciate
yeah.
it more later
Makes
on.
sense.
No worries.
As Carol Spinney best once put it, don't watch Barney.
No, you imitated very well, Matt.
That's
good.
very
Uh-huh.
good.
Uh-huh.
Very good.
Thank
Do
you.
that again. Can you do that again? More Big Bird?
Well, I hope so. I think I can do Snuffy a little better though. I've been practicing with that.
And Marty, when we interviewed Marty Robinson, he kind of taught us a little bit about how he does the Snuffy voice.
He kind of gave a vocal demonstration.
Mhm.
So there you are,
Oh,
Julius.
wow. There you
Nice.
go.
Hi.
Oh,
Hey, Julia.
Hello, Julius. Hello
Julius
there.
is
He
new,
talked through a
everyone.
mailing tube originally. I guess they still do that. Remember that?
I guess.
Yeah.
I
because
guess.
I think when we interviewed Marty, he held up like a little cup and like put his hand over it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Jerry Nelson, who played the part earlier,
Right.
had a big cardboard mailing tube that he would talk into.
Interesting.
Didn't Marty also do that same thing at the Children and Family Emmys? Yes, that's right. Yes, which was ironic but cool. Yeah, it was very ironic. I'm like, wait, yeah? For those who don't know, they introduced this whole separate Emmy Awards for children and family programs this past December was their first ceremony, and it was really cool to see. Honestly, it's really cool that other shows like that are being recognized like that. And Marty Robinson was presenting, and he did the exact same thing. Like he had a little cup and talked to Snuffy. Yep.
Oh, great.
Weird,
Oh,
but
yes.
cool.
Yes, he's wonderful. And I remember
Absolutely.
when we previously chatted with his
Matt, it looks
wife,
like you're
Annie
doing it like
Evans.
a ventriloquist.
Well,
You don't move your lips much when the character talks. That's unusual.
well, it's progress at least.
And we also and speaking
Very
of
good.
Marty, we previously also had on his wife Annie Evans.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
Annie
wonderful
was
writer.
She's great.
Wonderful writer.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Wrote for a lot of
Great
children's TV too outside of Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Marty made like a cameo appearance on her episode. And he was like, "Oh, these guys."
But he was happy to see us.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
He was very
Definitely.
happy to see us, which was wonderful.
definitely. So since Julius
Yes.
is here, Julius, you want to take the next question?
I may as well since I'm here. In 2005, the We Are Family Foundation teamed up with the World of Different Institute, and a DVD release of the music video was created. Could you kind of? Oh, look at you showing off. Look
There
at
it
you
is.
showing
Oh,
off.
there it is.
indeed.
Yeah,
It is.
Look at you showing off.
I gotta pick up a copy. It's kind of a little difficult to come
It is-
across
I
now.
it
would
is
think
kind
it
of
would
difficult
be.
to find.
It's on YouTube, though. You can watch
That's right.
it.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
is. It is on YouTube. There's nothing like a physical copy. Could you kind of talk about the We Are Family Foundation, what that's about, and how that music video came to be?
Or like how
Well-
the DVD release came
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be.
Well, through the foundation, we talked a little bit about that already, but in a little more detail. After the video happened before the foundation,
Right.
but we organized the foundation while we were making the video, and Niall and Nancy in particular, Niall's wife, saw the possibilities of going beyond this video. And Michael Levine, who's a very important person to all of us, who was with Carnegie at the time, but
Mhm.
became the head of the Joan Cans Cooney Center at Sesame and is at Nickelodeon now. But Michael helped organize all the finances and all that, putting the foundation together, and was on the original board. And originally, all we had was the video, and we had a gala to raise money to put out the DVD. And the gala raised a little more money than we needed for the DVD. So that helped publicize it and help them begin to do other things. But as I said, after that Alabama thing, money began to come further. Originally, they were going to do more media, but Niall and Nancy got very interested in kids who were making a difference and how they could amplify using media, how they could amplify what kids were doing to make them successful globally instead of just in their little communities. And they've been amazing at that. That became the main thing after a few years, and it's been going for a couple of decades now. And it's a multi-million-dollar foundation, and they do great work. And Niall and Nancy's still very involved. There's a woman named Jess Chutonica who's in charge of it now. Anyone who's interested in this, check out the website and see what these kids are doing. It's just mind-boggling. And now they're doing a big UN event. It's just gotten bigger and bigger. So I'm proud that could be a little bit of part of it at the beginning.
Definitely. And Speaking of the We Are Family Foundation, we talked a little bit about some of the work they do currently. What are your both of your thoughts about, how the foundation continues to do work and the impact it has on our community?
Well, I think I think of the Komodo dragon that Bob and Ray do, where you answer the question and you ask it again. I'm not criticizing you, but I think I sort of said what I think it's doing now is they're helping kids. Like if you were starting a company in Africa to help feed people, how would you get noticed? You might get some
Exactly.
money locally, but you wouldn't know how to attract attention. I mean, these kids are very good at it, but if you get part of it, this foundation makes them really well known because they put money behind them, they put websites behind them, they get them to be invited by other foundations, they get corporate mentors to help them build the businesses. Some of them have built very successful businesses as a result, all doing socially related things, which of course the Republicans are against now too. Ramaswamy, who's running for the Republican presidency, is trying to stop investing in socially relevant causes. He thinks that's immoral, that the money should go just to make more money. So even that is controversial, but it hasn't
Right.
stopped Nancy and Niall from doing it.
Well, we are family except for those people.
Yeah. Well, no, they're family too. Ramaswamy, come on, man.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Norman
And
used to have the name Swami, so Ramaswamy could be
But
that was your company.
I know, and it still is. And I used to do that voice, and years go by, and there are good friends who have moved into the building.
You can't do it.
And I hope they never find out that I used to do it.
No, I know. I wasn't going to talk about the voice. I was only talking about your major company.
Yeah,
and Normco. We didn't talk about Normco.
Normco, yes, but Swami Productions, and that's fine. But the voice, it's
no.
I can't do that.
You can't do it.
Right.
But you can do Normco. You remember how Normco?
Well, of course, Normco. Yeah. Yes. Of course. It's a wonderful business, Normco. We're in the entertainment business, and the way it works is you bring the production crew, you bring the director, you bring the writer, you bring the actors, you bring all the below the line, above the line, you bring all the money, we do everything else.
It's a wonderful business model.
Wonderful business model.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Amazing.
It's a little bit hard to attract customers, but
yes,
but once you have a customer, boy, do you make money.
But I do everything except that what I mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's great. And I'm kind of curious, do you think something like We Are Family, like the music video, could ever happen like today?
Yes, if people had the energy to do it. And I think it would be rather a good thing to do. Because as Norm was talking earlier, it's needed more than ever. The question is who would watch it? Only the people that agreed with us already, perhaps. But that's where you can be sneaky because everyone loves those characters. Mm-hmm. And so you can build an audience, I think. So I'd love to see it done again. Oh, yeah, Niall and I have talked about doing that once in a while, but it always never quite happened. We talked about it maybe 7, 8 years ago. We were going to try, but we never got it together. We all got busy on other things.
Definitely.
Yeah, what happens if Sesame and Don Quixote and lots of other shows, that'd be great for today, having another.
Oh yeah.
Another one sure. Of those.
I mean, they just did. I don't know if you folks have seen, but on the socials recently, it was Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, Don Quixote, and there's one other one I can't remember. It was all the Fred Rogers.
Was it
company.
Nature? No, Nature Cat wasn't Fred
No,
Rogers.
No, it's a. Oh gosh. No, I think it must have been just those two.
Was
Yeah,
it
it
just
might have
those
been.
two? I
Don
thought it was
Quixote and Daniel Tiger.
Okay, I thought there was a third one, but I guess not. They all came together and sang "Won't You Be My Neighbor," which I
Oh,
thought
nice. Very nice.
which I thought was really, really cool.
That's great.
Absolutely.
And kind of coincidental considering they just started airing season 2 with Don Quixote. James, probably check it out on your local PBS station. Yes. Check your local listings for time and station.
It has a lot of our friends in it too. I think Bradley Freeman is in that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes.
Bradley Freeman, yes, good friend of ours.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
and mine too.
Sebastiano Ricci, good friend of ours, did
Yes,
some puppetry
and
for that
Brandon
for the
Smith.
Halloween special.
Yeah.
Yep, our
Yeah,
buddy
Brandon
Brandon
Smith,
Smith, who
yes.
has his first
Yes.
season on Sesame later this year. Yep.
Yeah.
Very
So,
excited.
Yes.
so before we wrap this up, I also want to talk about one of the recent projects, the expo, the upcoming expo with
yes,
Cleo
yes,
and
yes,
Theo.
yes.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
we talked very briefly about it earlier, but how did because I know that's one of the most recent things you're doing. How did that kind of come about?
Well, that happened because we have been, as I mentioned earlier, doing projects in the schools. One of the really exciting things, there's an organization called Success for All, which came out of Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. And the guy who started that, who unfortunately passed away last year, Bob Slavin, kept saying he was an advisor on Between the Lions back at the beginning. And Bob kept saying, one of the things that's too bad about Sesame Street and Between the Lions is because it's broadcast, you can't individualize the education. In other words, you have to show a bunch of things that there has to be something for everybody on every show. You couldn't just do shows for people who are having trouble learning the letter B, for example, because that's only a tiny part of your audience. The kids are different ages. They're all good or bad at different things. But in the classroom, if you could cut up the shows and show the letter B things just the day that you're teaching letter B, or to the kid who is having trouble learning it, that would be magical. So that's what we've been doing with Between the Lions. We've been using the segments on the days that teachers teach the things on the show, and we're sending segments home with the kids who need extra practice. And the Department of Ed loved that project, and they funded a couple of grants we got to do this. So we're in hundreds of schools now and trying to grow it into even bigger. And now we're putting some of the Lions games, we're customizing them so that, again, they teach just the things they're learning that day. And we're combining those in playlists with the videos. And it's really working. And the Department of Ed got excited about it. So they invited Theo and Cleo, who they funded to begin with, to come and help publicize the expo of all their educational games that they're doing later this month. So we did the video for them, and Theo and Cleo are going to be there to show off with a lot of other people what we're doing with Between the Lines in the schools. So I'm glad you're going to be there, Jake. So I think you're going to stay after we show most of it, but not too late to talk to you, at least. And I think Theo and Cleo are leaving on the morning of the 21st, so you might miss them. You might have to get there a day earlier to see it all. But anyway,
you might have to go a day early. That the Games Expo is September 19th through the 22nd for those wanting to attend.
Right.
Where is this at?
The show with the Lions will be mostly on the 20th.
September 20th. Where is this
at Kennedy Center?
Oh, wow.
Not in the main hall. But
not at the main hall.
But theaters. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Nice. Once again, the ED Games Expo, September 19th through the 22nd.
Yes,
they have a website. If you look up Ed Games Expo 2023 on Google, you can learn all about it and where it is and how to go. And you can see our introductory video too.
Yes, and links to that will be in the description down below.
Yep.
And as well as the websites you mentioned about the project as well.
The We Are Family
Talk about.
Foundation link will also be in the description below. If you
Right.
watch this after September 22nd, don't even worry about it. Just watch the introductory video. You'll understand. Right? Right. Yep.
You can pretend you could have gone.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
You
And
very
we'll
well could.
offer you photographs that we have of what we did.
Great.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Once again, we'll put the links. Hold on a second.
Great.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, once again, we'll put the links for the expo and the We Are Family Foundation in the
And maybe
in the
Lions too, and Sirius, all of us. You know?
Serious, all of
Yeah.
us. Yep.
Everything
yeah,
all
but-
in one
but just to
subscription.
remind-
CTL Fanatics on YouTube, which is a fan site that we have there. That
Wonderful page.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's
Has a
another
lot
place
of
to look.
wonderful Between the Lions clips.
Oh yeah, a lot of great
All the
clips from the
years.
show.
Yes.
Definitely.
All the 10 years of his on.
Absolutely.
All the links will be in the description
and one
below.
Emmy Award-winning series too.
Yes.
Emmy Award
Well,
series.
season 10, they won the best children's series.
Nice
Yeah.
way to go out.
preschool children's series.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice way to go out.
So see, a little fish type of moment.
Hmm.
Thanks for all the
Yes.
fish.
Yes.
Yes, as Jennifer Bernhardt best put it. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. I forgot what I was gonna say. Serious Thinking. You can check this out at Serious Thinking's website. Where else can if you missed the last time you guys were on, where can people find you?
find which?
Like
Which of us?
like the two of you. Like
two
if
of
people would
you.
like to connect with either of you, where can people find
Oh,
you?
yeah. Well, you guys have our emails and the Sirius website's a good place.
And
Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, so
Facebook, I am too.
somebody can
and,
message me if they want to get in touch.
And on Instagram, though I don't use it a whole lot, but I'm there too. So,
Yeah. As
so
links
any
to-
of those places.
Yep. Links to those
Yes.
will be in the description. And
And our songs are on Spotify.
of
From
course.
Sesame
Yeah,
especially.
Yes. So
Yes.
all
the
that.
last question that Jake's about to ask is the question. Well, we asked this on our previous episode, but because we had you back on, we figured we'd ask it again. So go ahead, Jake.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Chris Bixby. So, of course, this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia. Yeah, look at that. And when you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or in your own words, how would you define the word nostalgia?
Want to go, Norm? Your turn to go
first.
first.
I'm just going to say ditto.
Okay, well, I'll say ditto too. We'll both say ditto. Then you can.
There you go.
Well, nostalgia, I guess, what the word means is what it means to me. Just mostly very, very fond memories of things that you loved doing before, or that you loved seeing before, or that you think you loved seeing before. Sometimes you have wonderful memories where you forgot all the bad parts, but I've been so lucky, and I think Norm will say the same thing. He'll say ditto, that just the luck of getting hired by Sesame Street, which was not my life plan, but ever since that happened, just everything has gone right. I've made amazing friends. I've gotten to do exactly what I want to do. I love all the songs and things that we did way back then. And I loved all the things that led to them, like the old Bob and Ray shows and the Monty Python shows and all the things that I loved. Mel Brooks, that Norm mentioned earlier, all the things I loved and learned from that I still love listening to. And I've just had a great life. So thinking back on all of it, I guess is what nostalgia means to me.
Yeah,
Right, Norm?
yeah, I agree. Nostalgia is for me thinking back and remembering things from the past that don't exist now.
Right.
There's something about them. It may be the thing itself or what it was about or the mood that made you feel good in the past, and you want to feel it again. You want to experience it again because it doesn't exist now. So that's for me.
That's good. I like that definition better than mine. So I'll say ditto to your.
I withdraw my
Yes.
ditto.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Well,
Thank
Chris,
you.
Chris and Norman, thank you so much for taking the time to come
Hey,
back.
thank
It was
you.
great
Thank
to
you.
Yes.
great to
It was
catch up with
awesome.
you guys
Wonderful
again.
catching
Well,
up.
love it. Anytime you want to do it, I'm game. I love it.
You too.
Yeah, next time for 200.
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, thank God,
Yes.
we're like another
We'll
50
see.
some odd away. So
Yes. You two are just wonderful people. We always love getting to
Yes.
talk to you.
Love
Yes.
talking to you too. If you ever want to talk
Likewise.
about Lomax, let us know.
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, for an anniversary or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day,
Who
Chris and
knows?
Norman. I'll let you know when this one
Thanks.
goes up.
Thank you for doing this, guys. We love you.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
it was
course.
great.
Love you both too. See you soon.
Bye.
Okay,
Yeah,
see you in Washington, Jake.
Yes. Hope to see you
Yes.
there.
All right, bye,
Hey,
Chris.
Bye.
Take care.
Take
Bye.
care.
See you there.
It's goodbye from us as well, everybody. We absolutely enjoyed having Christopher Surf and Norman Styles back on.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Again,
like and subscribe
to-
if you haven't.
Not
Yes.
not just brilliant writers and composers, but just all around wonderful human beings.
Wonderful people.
Yes.
But again,
Yes,
absolutely enjoyed our time with Chris and
Yes, and
Norman.
the website, We Are Family
Website,
Foundation, everything
everything.
will be description
Yes.
down below.
If
so you
you're-
guys can
if
check
you're-
it out.
if you're
and
new-
the expo as well.
Yes. Once
And so
again,
many
the
more.
Expo-
And
once
social
again, the
media, blah,
Expo,
blah.
as technically speaking, September 20th through the 22nd. The 19th is not
Yes.
open to the public.
Yes.
For those
And
new,
20th and the Lions will be there.
Yep. For those new, we air new regular podcast episodes twice a week. So check us
Stay
out.
tuned
Yeah.
for amazing one for more new episodes coming your way.
Yep. A lot of good stuff coming.
And as always,
Yes.
take us home, Jake. What do we say?
Keep Nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And
Bye.
remember to always be wild about reading.
We're all about reading.
What
Yes.
about reading?
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show YouTube exclusive. Like and subscribe for more, and ring the bell, that way you don't miss a single notification. We air brand new episodes twice a week, so don't miss it. Also be sure to follow Jake and the crew for more fun. Keep nostalgia alive, and thanks for joining us.